I thank you for all being here, and thank you for being so helpful in your answers, because as you know, we're all struggling and trying to figure this out. And as we're trying to figure it out, you have specific expertise, not just in your view of the government program, but in the issue of what's happening in the market, what's happening with homeowners, and what needs to be done. So I appreciate that you've been so forthcoming. As I said in my opening, Treasury Secretary Geithner yesterday, when appearing before the Congressional Oversight panel, said about HAMP, this program was not designed to prevent foreclosures. It was not designed to sustain homeownership at a level that would be unacceptable, imprudent to try and do. He was then asked about the home ownership rate level. What would it be? What would be a market efficient number? Someone offered 65%, and he tended to agree that that was an objective. Reuters responds, Reuters relates his statement as, Geithner said he agreed with the assessment that housing will only stabilize as more homeowners become renters again. Do you guys agree with that? Do you agree with our Treasury Secretary that the market will only stabilize as more homeowners become renters? Because that seems contrary to what our whole goal was here in trying to stabilize homeowners in their home. Mr. Stas, we'll start with you.
Congressman, I'm not qualified to answer the Treasury Secretary's response, but I will say that when we focused on hemp as an industry, we wanted to create a great uniform baseline across the country. There was no baseline modification. There were all kinds of proprietary programs. So in the last year, we've done a great deal with respect to hemp to get to a uniform baseline. However, there will be fallouts and there will be redefaults. And I believe that the issue needs to move, the focus needs to move beyond modifications to foreclosure prevention. And I believe that short sales and deed in lieu are the programs that we should really focus on. And I believe that that's where the discussion should be.
Ms. Doster, do you believe more people need to be renters?
The HAMP program and other modification programs are primarily built to ensure that the payment is affordable, and what HAMP has done is set a new standard for the industry at that 31% debt-to-income ratio of the Mortgage Taxes Insurance Homeowners Association to income. And in that spirit, there are a large number of people who would not qualify, and I agree that at some point, if they can't afford to sustain a mortgage payment at a level commensurate with their income, then they do need to move on to alternative kinds of housing, and that's what short sales and deed in lieu and other programs are attempting, and we're working hard to ensure that there's a dignified transition as an alternative to foreclosure.
The point that the Treasury Secretary made, which is why I'm asking the question, and I disagree with the Treasury Secretary, is it's not that he's talking about the individual decision of a homeowner as a borrower who finds themselves in an untenable debt position and then must make the choice of leaving the home, surrendering it, going through then the process of becoming a renter. He's actually saying that for housing prices to stabilize, that he personally believes that more homeowners should become renters, according to Reuters. And that seems contrary to this program, and of course he characterizes it here as this program was not designed to prevent foreclosures, which I could have sworn that that's what President Obama said it was supposed to do. Mr. Friedman, what do you think about more people becoming renters?
Well, again, I wasn't around the Secretary when he made the comment, but I mean, I do believe it is a fact that, not all homeowners can afford their mortgage payment. And as a result, like many of us, if you, spend too much money on something, you have to cut something else out. And I think, that could very well be what he meant. I think as a general policy, I think home ownership is a great thing if people don't get greedy and they can then, can pay their mortgage and can afford all those things that go along with home ownership.
Well, one other thing I want to add, because my time is expiring, is that in listening to all of your testimonies about how you have been approaching homeowners, I can tell you that the anecdotal stories that we hear from realtors, from nonprofits that are trying to assist homeowners, is that the loan servicers are not responsive. That in fact it is an incredibly difficult process, even when you have a social worker that is sitting guiding someone through the process. That in fact you are making decisions that don't follow the market, that when there's short sales that are offered, that in fact you allow the loans to go to foreclosure. And I want to say, Mr. Chairman, I think one thing that would be really helpful is to have not a panel of loan servicers, but have loan servicers on one side of the room and have realtors and nonprofits that are helping people on one side of the room, and let these two people go at it, because we're hearing a different story than you're telling us today.